Traveling with a child with special needs. Our travel expert, Kelly Mckellar, is here. We'll talk about that just ahead. And we'll preview the new James Bond movie. Plus, meteorologist Jacob Dickey is here cooking up a storm. Mid-morning starts right now. Good morning, everyone. Few things are more challenging for children with autism than crowded spaces and loud noises. And that makes airports and air travel especially tough. But as Chris Van Cleve reports, a new program is giving these children their wings.
Are you excited?
6-year-old Nathan Diamond will be walking on an airplane for the first time since he was a baby. He has autism, so the noise and activity of an airport can be overwhelming.
You're going to hand her your boarding pass. Give it to her.
His parents, Sonia and Jonathan, are taking advantage of a special Delta Airlines program to get kids with autism ready to fly.
How's it gone so far?
I'll be honest. It was a little nerve-wracking, I think, for us, but for him, he was taking the challenge on, like, what's going on?
Nathan gets to experience check-in, security, boarding, and what it's like to be on a plane.
This is the hardest part for him. Sitting down, these narrow ways, and see, that's the hardest part for him.
When you've seen a child have a meltdown that's on the spectrum, it's scary.
Captain Eric Reese leads the tours. His son has autism.
What's it like for you seeing the reactions from the kids, particularly when their eyes light up?
It's just amazing in that it's doing good and it's making families feel empowered and confident and comfortable. And I want them to have the same experiences with their children that I've had with mine.
Delta offers these programs at its Atlanta and Minneapolis hubs. Airlines including Alaska, American, and JetBlue have similar programs around the country.
Have a seat in the captain's seat.
From the looks of Nathan in the cockpit, he's about ready for takeoff. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Atlanta.
Our travel agent and friend, Kelly Mckellar, is a certified classroom teacher with a certification in autism travel as well as certified travel agent. She has 23 years of classroom experience working with children with many abilities, and Kelly is here to talk about it. So you look at that piece and you were just saying that something like that is as helpful to the parents as it is for the children.
Absolutely. I mean, to watch the parents have an opportunity to board with their child and get familiar with their surroundings helps the parent not be so anxious too. So I look at it from, that point of view, that it's a good thing for everybody.
You say, and we'll talk about this, that traveling and these sort of experiences are wonderful for children with autism. Why?
Yes, I mean, such environmental rich experiences for the child, reducing isolation where the child can get out and enjoy things that normally they might not get to see and enjoy, enjoying family time together, which is always good. That's good for any child.
Absolutely.
But, in a different environment where, like I said, where things are really rich and exciting.
They're also building life skills too, huh?
That's right. I mean, at that point, map breeding and preparing for the trip and packing, all those things that are necessary for life, they get an opportunity to do that where they might not get to in regular situations.
Well, if you're going to be traveling with a child with autism, obviously you may have to do some special things, some extra things. So you've got some tips for us.
That's right,
as
I
usual.
do.
So let's talk about expectations first of all. That's important to let them know.
I think that's a great idea for most children, but in particular children with autism, is giving them an opportunity to see, hear, and maybe even experience things before they actually go on a trip. So like this plane ride that they just had, and they get to go on early. I just think that's a wonderful way to desensitize the child and get them ready for their experience.
You also say sort of practicing going through it.
Talk about it, go over it, practice it, tell them what to expect. Of course, you want to buffer some of the things that you say. You don't want to talk about some of the negative things that could go on with flying, but keep it positive and upbeat and get them prepared emotionally as well as physically for what's about to happen.
When it's time for the actual trip, you say plan way ahead.
Plan ahead. Have all these details laid out so there's no guesswork, and that you feel comfortable as a parent so
Okay.
that you can make your child feel comfortable as well.
One thing that will help in a situation like this is going places that are autism friendly. What do you mean when you say that?
There are many destinations now that are autism friendly. I think probably one of the best places is beaches and sandals resorts. Beaches resorts have really upped their game. They've hired counselors that are certified teachers, and they are also autism certified. And they have activities and all kinds of amazing things for kids to do that have autism. So I really think they cater to that. But there are also other places such as Universal that have quiet rooms where children can go when things are a little crazy and noisy and loud. If there's a ride they don't want to ride, they can go and sit in this quiet room where there are TVs and things for them to do.
When you say safety precautions, what sort of safety precautions do you think we need to take?
I found this and I thought it was so neat, and I've shared it on my page. But you can buy a personalized tattoo for your child.
Okay.
And you put it on them. I would probably put it out of view so that, you know, if there's a sleeve, it would cover it up. But if the child is lost, then they have a way, if they can't remember their phone number or even their name or their parent's name, it is attached to them. And I just think that's great for young children.
And it's not something they have to carry.
They don't have to carry it, and they're really cute ones that have, like, if you're going to Disney, they have Mickey Mouse on it, so it looks like a sticker. So it's also fun, too. And I just think that's a great thing to do. Of course, an ID, even if you have a child that wanders a lot, a GPS tracking device that you can attach to.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. Because that's the situation you don't want to get into when you're traveling, is losing your child.
Absolutely.
And don't know where they are.
You also say it's important to teach your child what to do if something happens, like go through, and you've already mentioned sort of buffering what you give them to expect, but some things you have to give them some advice on what to do.
Right. If you don't do those things, when you get there is not the time. Always plan ahead, like we said, and prepare your child for what to do in case you are separated.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. What are some things you're going to tell your child, would you say, or good things to tell them if they're separated?
Well, and I would ask them, I would play it out in a scenario. What would you do if you were separated from mom and dad and you couldn't find us right then? What would you do? And they probably would say, I'd be upset, I would cry. And that's a good thing to talk about. You know, okay, well, that's not going to help you. What would help you? And
here are some
kind of
things
walk
you
them
can
through.
say.
You know, who are you? And kind of quiz them and ask them, and maybe even go over your phone number.
All right. All very good advice. We appreciate you as always.
Thank
And of
you.
course, you can follow Kelly on social media for all sorts of wonderful travel information. See you later. All right, coming up, as one local man prepares to deploy, he says the people he works with show their support. Mid-morning, it's back in a moment. A police department in our area will soon be without an officer for about a year as he's deployed with the U.S. Army Reserve. As our Allie Martin reports, it's not the first time the small department has had to make accommodations as its officers are called to wear a different uniform while serving their country.
Things are always busy for New Albany Police Sergeant Joe Keaton. He and his wife are foster parents. He's a deacon at his church, and he also serves as a platoon sergeant with the U.S. Army Reserve.
I just wanted to come in and serve the community and help people.
Next month, Sergeant Keaton will be deployed to Afghanistan. He has been in the Army Reserve for 31 years and has had one prior deployment. Keaton says being deployed once before makes things a little easier, but he still will miss his family and friends.
It's nothing really different, just different site.
Yes, sir.
Same job, different site.
Sergeant Keaton isn't the only officer on the force to be deployed. Corporal Stephen Nolan is in the Mississippi National Guard and recently returned from his first deployment as part of a NATO peacekeeping mission in Kosovo. Corporal Nolan says having a boss who supports service members helps a great deal.
Well, the job was very easy because the Police Department, they're very military supportive, so I had no issues whatsoever with my job. Very good leadership here.
Of course, when an officer is deployed, crime doesn't stop and calls for service still must be answered. So New Albany Police Chief Chris Robertson and the entire force make necessary adjustments.
Most agencies, me included, we either use reserve officers or we do, a conditional hire type thing. An officer comes in, works for up to a year. And then with the understanding that, when the officer's deployed comes back, he'll have to resume his duties.
Both Keaton and Nolan say they take great pride in serving their community and their country. In New Albany, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
And Chief Robertson has had as many as 3 officers deployed all at the same time. Well, many American veterans carry their sense of duty long after they take off the uniform. John Blackstone introduces us to 2 former soldiers who are investing in the country where they once fought.
Army Rangers Matthew Griffin and Donald Lee served 2 tours together in Afghanistan, where they saw brutal combat and crushing poverty.
No literacy, no education, no food, no heat, no schools, no nothing.
I had a son at that time, and I'm like, God, these kids will never have the opportunities that my kid's gonna have.
The poverty they could not fight with bombs and bullets. But after they left the Army, Griffin had an idea.
Got that call in the middle of the night saying, hey, we're gonna make flip-flops in Afghanistan.
Their mission?
So this is the AK-47.
Make sturdy military-themed flip-flops and footwear and use some of the profits to support education for Afghan girls.
You don't stop until the mission's done.
They call the company Combat Flip-Flops.
Done.
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 In 2016, 3 sharks on ABC's Shark Tank invested $100,000 each on their business plan.
For every product that we sell, we donate to put a girl in school for a day in Afghanistan. So,
one product means 1 day in school.
1 day in school.
An educated woman will raise a child to be an educated child, which grows up to be an educated adult, and they're least likely to be radicalized.
It's in Afghanistan that their success is most important.
Education is crucial in order to rebuild Afghanistan.
Hasina Sherjan runs schools for over 3,000 girls.
We have at least 85% illiteracy. We have the highest illiteracy rate in the world.
To support her schools, Sherjan also runs a small business where her employees make scarves for combat flip-flops.
So they're all woven, dyed, sewn, stitched, and tasseled in Afghanistan in a woman-owned factory.
But for these vets, there's another, more personal side to this mission. You serving the memory of the guys you lost there?
I think we're definitely serving their memory.
We lost 6 friends during our time in service, and is it worth it? And now I could look at something and go, yeah, it's worth it.
And perhaps flip-flops can accomplish something boots on the ground have not. John Blackstone, CBS News, Issaquah, Washington.
A Florida mother whose husband is deployed overseas did not want to leave him out of a holiday photo, so she found a way to make sure he could be included. Julie Salmon has that story.
Danielle Cobo loves Christmas. The tree goes up after Thanksgiving. Her twin boys, now 2.5, old enough to enjoy family traditions.
These are the memories that we're starting together as a family. You know, our kids are at an age where they're starting to know who Santa is, and they're starting to, enjoy the Christmas lights.
It will be her first Christmas without her husband. He left in early 2019 for a 1-year deployment, serving overseas in the military as a Black Hawk pilot.
Every time you go to bed, you're constantly reminded that they're not here, and every time you have a tradition that you normally do and they're not there.
Phone calls from her husband are sporadic while he's deployed. He misses moments and traditions.
The holidays are hard, and it's hard when you're doing it alone.
She did not want him to skip the family Christmas photo.
I said, just can you take a photo of you in your uniform with your hand out? And he really had no idea what I was doing.
Her Christmas cards feature her with their twin boys, the other half her husband as he serves our country.
Even though we're miles apart, we're still close together. We're still a family unit, and our hearts are always in the right place.
She wants others to realize soldiers make sacrifices, and so do their families.
We're just trying to hold it all together. It's a sacrifice amongst everybody.
Julie Salmon, ABC Action News.
James Bond, and it's almost time to head to the movies for No Time to Die with Daniel Craig. Take a peek.
Why would I betray you?
We all have our secrets. You just didn't get to yours yet.
The world
disarming faster than we can respond. Where's 007?
I need a favor, brother. You're the only one I trust for this.
The world's moved on, Commander Bond.
You were 00?
2 years. So stay in your lane. You get in my way, I will put a bullet in your knee. The one that works.
I thought you two would get along.
Name?
Bond.
James Bond.
So you're not dead?
Hello, Q. I've missed you.
It's the most valuable asset this country has. If you feel yourself losing control, I'm not going to lose
control. James, you gave up everything for her. When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you. What is it?
You don't know what this is?
James Bond. License to kill. History of violence. I could be speaking to my own reflection. Only your skills die with your body. Mine will survive long after I'm gone.
History isn't kind to men who play God.
All right, Jacob is back in the kitchen with some soup. Good morning. We'll be right back.